Welcome back to the build, to the channel, us.
Yeah, us.
We got some parts delivered while we were away, which means that we can crack on with the Cadet Kart. And hopefully today we'll manage to get the engine on, and yeah, I think just the engine mounted is probably the biggest thing. So we got the clutch, we got a different mount. If you remember from the last video, which I'll put in the link somewhere here, we were having issues, top right, we were having issues with the air filter fouling on the rear wheel. So we've opted for the same setup that we used on the OG kart, where we've got the Rotax tilted, I think it's like, I don't know, 15-degree angle or whatever it is. The tilted engine mount, and that arrived, so we can mount that to the kart, which actually brings it up higher, which then allows us to use our adapter plate on top, which means that the engine then tilted forward a bit clears the rear wheel. So that's all here.
It's right there.
And that's the plate that's going to sit on top of it.
And then there's the engine.
And then there's the engine. And another thing that we realised as well, so some of the issues we're having on this is the engine likes to work itself back, and apparently thanks to the comments, that happens in general because of just the vibrations and everything. This actually has a stopper screw there, so we can mount it and get it to not move backwards. So hopefully, again, we won't face the same problems.
That one on the OG kart, we're gonna have to. It's just gonna happen.
Well, yeah, I'll smack it.
We could get.
It has a place for a stopper screw. It just doesn't have one in there, so we'll have to try another thing to try and buy.
Anyways, even if we don't get a stopper screw, it doesn't really matter. It takes 2 seconds just to hammer it.
I know, but I'll try and get a stopper screw at some point. Anyway, one of the things I also did off camera, I got one of these because this was actually missing. I had to order it from bloody Italy. That was about a tenner for one of these. And so what that meant is that before, the caliper wasn't going in evenly, so it was off at kind of one angle, but now that's all sorted, so that's fine. We are still waiting for the grub screws to arrive for this, so we can't fully kind of test it properly, but what we can do once we get this on is test to make sure that the engine runs and just generally that it works, and hopefully that this chain should fit. We also got the clutch. I've whacked that on. That's not exactly a difficult installation, just slapped it on and did up the end screw. But let's get this mount on and see if we can mount this engine back up. Yeah, let's try and get this engine on. So I've used the old technique, some tyres, jacked it up, same as we did last time. And I got them through. The only issue is, you can tell, these stick out really far and I need them to be as flat as possible. So I'm going to have to angle grind them off, which always seems to be the case, to be honest. But I'll do that. I will mark them up on here, then remove them all and then just cut them all down with the angle grinder. We were trying to avoid using the angle grinder if possible, but you know, that never seems to work out in the way that we want. But once we've got that on like that, we should be able to then put some more bolts in from the bottom for the engine to sit on, and it should all line up. Touch wood, we'll see. But yeah, let's angle grind these bolts down and see if we can get the engine mounted. Marked all the bolts up with a chalk pen, so that's where I'm going to cut them. And you may be thinking, this seems like a really random way of doing things. Why don't you just go and buy bolts the right size? We actually tried doing that, and not specifically these size, but this, generally these sorts of bolts. And they're a real pain in the ass to get round here. Can't get them at all. So, yeah, I'm going to cut them instead, because I can do that. So my angle grinding friend helped me get these to the right size. One of the difficulties we had last time was we actually put oil and fuel in the engine before. We haven't got any of that in there at the moment, so which is a really good thing, because Zach had to get underneath the last one, as you've probably seen, on this, and it's quite hard to maneuver. Whereas this, we know what we need to do. We need it to be as far forward as possible on the mount and as far this way. So what we can do is try and preempt that on the mount and position the mount as such. But because it's a nice sandwich of different mounts, we can't get access to this point in here without being underneath, or even with that, we then need to move that to make sure yeah, see what I mean? It's complicated. We do have the ability to tighten this one up at the bottom, so once it's in place, we can tighten it up. But it all needs to work in sequence. So we now need to fit the engine to this mount so that then we can then tighten this mount. Get it? It's, yeah, exactly. What? So, yeah, trust me, that's what we're doing. Okay. So we'll get that done and then hopefully get it on there. Right, so apart from us dying of heat exhaustion out here, what we did was, it's all mounted, it's all secure. So I had to start with this back one mounting the engine to this plate, but I could only get access to this slot when this was out of the way, slid forward. So that had to be the first one. I did this one second, and then we moved on to these because we could move the plate back. Then it was all secured in place. Makes sense? You with me? Good. Now, what I'm going to do is take this and mount it to the car, and then hopefully this will be done.
It will be semi-drivable.
No, don't say that, Zach, because that's not true. It probably won't be. We haven't even started it yet. But anyway, it will be in place. Let's get on and see if it works. Now you still need to go underneath and...
Wait, what?
Yeah, but in a good way.
I mean, not to get killed this time.
No, you won't get killed. Well, mildly, but it'll be fine. A mild death. Yeah, so calculations were slightly wrong. I slid it all the way to this side, and in fact I needed to slide it all the way to this side for obvious reasons. Damn it!
You know, actually, I think that'll do just fine.
That'll be fine. We just don't need a seat. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Run it. Oh no, we can't do that because then it won't line up with that.
Oh yeah.
Damn it!
Wait,
okay.
But then we could just turn it over. But even if we do get a seat and it fits, it'll just drill in. But then we'll have no more sides left, so it'll all be fine.
Be all good. Okay,
good.
Let's take it back
Minor
off.
Injuries.
Take it back off and redo it.
Oh, sadly.
So we did it, slid it over, mounted it, got it all done. Oh, we realised while we were under there as well that we hadn't put in the correct nuts for the underside one as well, so we had to take it off again. Yada yada yada, but it's on. So
it's all on.
It's all on. It's tight as you like. See how close that is. That is tight. So I will be using a hammer to smack this over a bit.
Yeah.
But it fits, and it's less tight when. So we need the grub screws. The reason we need the grub screws is because we need to push it over there. One of the things that I'd be really interested in hearing about is if anyone knows where I can get a chain tensioner just to take up some slack from the bottom here. I'd like it to kind of mount onto the side just so I can run it a little bit there. I can't get it further forward because that's as far as it goes and it hits the side bump a bit, so that's as far as it literally goes. But all it really needs is a little bit of tension taken out of the bottom, return, and it should be sorted. Right, so I've put the airbox back on after I've fitted the throttle cable, so the throttle cable's all attached. So everything from that side is actually on and ready. I'd like to give it a test run, but I don't actually have any fuel, so I need to go and fill that up. I also need to fill it with oil, and then we can look about fitting the seat. But I think we're going to have similar issues with the last one. So we've got some clearance issues there. You can just see there. But I think if I move these across a bit, I'll at least have a bit more space. They're playing basketball outside. I'm going to go and get some fuel and a bit of oil, top up all the stuff, and then hopefully we can come back. Yeah, look how much it's bloody boiling out there, I'm dripping. And then we'll get it started and give it a test. So I got upstairs and I thought, I'll check the post, you never know. And to my surprise, we have our steering wheel boss. Oh, and so I ordered some grub screws, what I thought were grub screws for the axle. This is what arrived. One. Now I don't even know if this is the right size for one, but I'm going to assume it is. I'll test it now, and then it's like the sample. I may as well order the rest of them. One. Anyway, I'll try the grub screw first, and then I'll put the I'll swap that over for the new steering wheel, and then I can mount the steering wheel, so at least it steers and stuff. Okay, so that one, whoop, focus. The new one too small. Other ones, too big. I need one in the middle. What size is it? Don't know. M something. What are the size of the grub screws for that? To be honest, by the time this goes up, I probably would have researched it and found it out. So you can still comment what it is, but I might have already ordered them by that point. It's somewhere between that and that, basically. Wicked. So now we have this on nice and tight. So this is everything up front sorted. Like I said, grub screws don't fit. Yay, great. I'll have to order some more, actually the right size. Now I can actually go and get some fuel. So I'll get some fuel, and hopefully by the end of this, we can have this little bad boy started. We're so close, agonisingly. Much like the distance between those things. Agonisingly close. A little bit too close. Yeah. That's our next problem. It always seems to be the issue. That's always the issue. When you try and fit things that don't want to fit together, yeah, but agonisingly close. All we've got left to do is grub screws, seat fitted, touch wood. We are ready to roll. But we should be able to, once I've got some fuel and oil in that, we should at least be able to start it and test it going forward and stopping. We'll just put a little plank in there or whatever, but I'll come back when I've got fuel. So I went and got some fuel and some oil, and I've topped it all up. So now we will see if this actually runs. It's an electric start one, so you can see it's got a starter motor on there, but I haven't attached any of the electric start stuff yet, because for this I don't really need it. But yeah, let's see if this actually goes. It's surprising how quiet it is when it doesn't have a massive exhaust on the back. So that one's running, which is quite sweet really. I haven't added to the electric start. I looked at doing it, but I obviously forgot that I need a battery. So I haven't got one of those yet, but I will get one. But first and foremost, let's see if it goes forward. So I'll move it out this way. No, it's not a bin man. That's like a combine harvester thing. It's to make bales of hay. But look, it started. And look, can you see if it moves?
Whoa!
See, ready? See where it
Whoa!
Off it goes! Get in. Get in the bag. You don't need to push it. Watch, it will go on its own. Watch. Ready? Yes.
How do you do it?
You just need to press this little flap here, the throttle. So just a little bit more. Yes.
Nice.
First run. It starts. It works. Whoa! Right. There's no kill switch. I don't know. There's no kill switch, so I'll turn it off somehow. Cut the fuel. Excuse the noise. Combine harvester man. But yeah, episode 4, and it's rolling. Big thumbs up. Isn't that good? So I don't want to jinx it because we do have more stuff to sort, like this chain will come off at some point, so I'm going to try, like I mentioned, to find a little tensioner there. Still need to wire up the electric start, but I need to get a battery for that. And we need to use the massive hammer to smack over these to create a little bit more room so I can get a bit of space away from that. But otherwise, it's running. It's wicked. So, do we say thanks for everyone for watching? We'll leave it there and we'll come back and get it sorted next time.
Thank you, bye.
Well, obviously that's Harper's way, but thanks very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you like this sort of thing. We're going to try and do lots of different types of projects like this, but we've got some great plans for this one coming up, and both of them together. Hopefully, based on the fact that this one is standard, it should be a bit more reliable than the one that the OG car. Anyway, stay tuned for the next episode and we'll see you later. Peace out.